I think there is something going on with LinkedIn going live.
It shows it's live 20 seconds on my side. Maybe it's live on feed.
Yeah, it's happening on X and YouTube. The LinkedIn one is giving me an error. Let me refresh my browser and I will be right back.
Okay.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining another episode of the Nurses Show. I'm Nico Farah, your host. If you're new here, welcome. We are excited to have a very special topic today, and that is about content creation. In this day and age that everything is on social media and digital, creating content, whether you have a product or service, is such a crucial topic. Now, a lot of times we have to do it ourselves, and many times there are experts that have dedicated full time energy and effort to excel at this. So today we have one of those special people that have, for many years created, this type of contents on different platforms. We want to talk about the streaming on Twitch and other platforms, and she has done not just that, but also created platforms for others, which is really impressive. So feel free to ask questions, engage with us in the comment section, say hi so we can see you are here. And we're going to hear from our amazing guest, Brooke. How are you doing today, my dear?
I am good. How are you? I am Brooke. Nice to finally be on the show. So excited to be here. I have a massive background in content creation, gaming, esports, and helping companies from UX, UI, and brand deals, collaborations, and voiceovers. It has been a long journey. I've been in the industry for 22 years now, which is insane to think about, honestly. I started out as a Halo 2 DLC tester for Bungie at the age of 12. So, been in the industry quite a long time. I've competed in 120 tournaments from Apex Legends, Halo 3, fighting games like Mortal Kombat and Injustice, to Call of Duty, Black Ops, and now the new Warzone as well. And I host tournaments. So I was on a show called Jack of All Games where I knocked out the competition of 5 other creators going against Zolfar 321 on Sci-Fi Channel with WCG Ultimate Gamer, and created in a multitude of other events as well, and raising charity for Wounded Warrior Project, Stack Up, Children's Miracle Network, and Breast Cancer Foundations. So it's
Wow.
been a journey in the space, that's for sure.
Wow, that's really impressive. This just doing it all in this young age, it's amazing. It's so impressive. I would love to get into like the importance of content creation from your perspective. Why is it important in this day and age? I kind of touched on it, but I would love to hear from your perspective why people should care.
Yeah. Creating content you can do it in a multiple different ways, and there's multiple different reasons on why you should do it. It could be your niche, that you're wanting to get more in contact with your viewers, wanting to build that initial audience, or you're trying to scale your company. Communication is key in the industry. So creating content and pushing that traffic to your call to action it's the most important, especially what I tell a lot of streamers in the space that are learning to get into content creation full time is, yes, you can go live on Twitch. No one's going to see it unless you market it with content creation and then assisting that content with a call to action. Where are you wanting those viewers to go? And it's not just creating content either. A lot of it as well is, keeping in mind that you have those links in bio. You have those opportunities to have the content creation link into where you want them to go, which ultimately could be your YouTube, your Twitch platform, or your business if you're trying to sell subscription models. It all works hand in hand. It's just figuring out how to do it, doing it successfully, following trends, and keeping engaged with your existing community to get to a further broader audience. Very simple. And I feel like a lot of companies and a lot of creators actually miss the mark on that.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I just realized we just went live on LinkedIn. It took us a while. The connection from StreamYard to LinkedIn was not happening. So if you can just briefly in 30 seconds, tell us a quick overview of your background. Again, I apologize, these technical difficulties. So for our guests on LinkedIn, we had a couple minutes delayed, but now we're back live. Brooke is our amazing guest talking about content creation. Brooke, sorry, just give us a quick overview before we dive deeper.
Perfect. 30 seconds on the board. We got Halo 2 DLC tester. I did that when I was 12 years old in Austin, Texas with Fatality X and Danger Doll and the PMS twins. And then I started getting into competitive gaming, which was 120 tournaments from Apex Legends, FPS shooters like Call of Duty, fighting games like Injustice, Street Fighter, and all the way down to Halo 2, Halo 3, and all those micro content games as well. I've raised over $700,000 for charity events such as Wounded Warrior Project, Stack Up, Children's Miracle Network, and breast cancer foundations. I was on a show called Jack of All Games, which was a competitive gaming show with 5 contestants going against WCG Ultimate Gamers on Sci-Fi Channel and knocking them out in a multitude of different games, from Halo, Tetris to Mario Kart, Nintendo 64. Which is pretty old school, but it was great. I've interviewed the creator Boyd Mueller from Xbox Live, which was honestly the best experience ever. He's a great person. Never thought I'd get that opportunity to do that. But he was amazing to talk with. I was published twice in Game Informer, one for Jack of All Games, and as well for War Games Operation Countdown. So I've been in the space a hot minute, 22 years in the making, and just getting started.
Wow. Again, double impressive. I love hearing you talking about all these accomplishments as a young woman, accomplishing so much. This is really powerful. Awesome. So for our amazing community, those who just joined us on LinkedIn, please say hi in the comment section. We see you and we can engage with you. Feel free to ask questions. And we're going to talk about all things content creation, monetization, challenges, tips, brands, partnerships, community building, all sorts of things. So feel free to ask your questions and share your comments. All right, so let's talk about content creation becoming a hot thing, and then now it's kind of saturated. There are so many influencers or content creators on Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, all these platforms, YouTube. How do you really stand out in this crowded space? How can you, grab the attention that we're seeing this getting shorter and shorter span? What are your tips on that front?
So personally, the best thing is camera quality, lighting, and knowing what you're talking about. Those are probably the best options. Creating content is extremely saturated. So doing what other people are doing is only going to get you so far. You need to be using your insights, creator tips on the back end of TikTok. If you're trying to blow up on TikTok, you need to utilize what they already give you. Same thing with every other platform. Meta Business Suite puts it on their back end where you can see what's trending, upcoming topics, what you're not doing on your platform that you should be doing that will make you go viral. Knowing the algorithm is always whack and it's like a bad relationship and it changes every day. But keeping up with things that you love doing and actually care about doing is going to turn that needle. Being consistent is probably the hardest thing in content creation. You will get there, you'll keep posting, you'll keep doing it for months on end, and you may not see a change or you may will, but you got to stay consistent. That's the hardest part. And collaborations are a huge help. Reach out to other content creators, reach out to people within your niche or maybe outside your niche a little bit, but you guys can still pollinate off each other's content. That is super helpful. Creating your own trends. Don't feel embarrassed to do it. Content is content. Some people will see it, they'll relate with you. Some people won't. But in this day and age, when content is being posted, everybody looks the same and you need to figure out what's going to set you apart. So whether that's doing high content intros of you just screaming at the camera, maybe that's your niche and that's what sucks that viewer in. But yeah, I mean, everybody looks the same on social media and it's very hard to change. You got to come up with your own viral topics. Like for me, for instance, I was like the first one in Call of Duty who created the scary girl content. I would go around on Call of Duty and I'd scare everyone on the game and hunt them down and then assassinate them. Like for me, that was just funny, but no one else was doing it. So I just took it to the next level. And then other people started creating those trends based off me. And it's actually really cool to see it. And now it's dead. No one's doing it anymore. So now it's like you take that information that you did, what it was successful, now change it. You don't know a good idea? There's Chat GPT. Put in some questions. What should I be doing? This is what I've been doing. Is there anything you can think of that I should pivot to that will be trendy right now in 2024? And then it'll populate a bunch of different things. Try it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to stay at 200 viewers or you could go to 2 million. It's ultimately up to the creator.
Amazing. So many great nuggets in what you just shared. I don't know even where to touch on, but yeah, that was amazing. Building your own trend and your own niche is so important because often there are so many best practices we want to follow when we're just getting started. We don't want to make the mistakes. But at the same time, if you're not as special, then what's the difference? And so that's definitely valuable. And I love that you touched on like the technical side. So let's dig deeper into the technical and logistical part. Sometimes we hear like just your phone is sufficient to create content. What are your recommendations? Do people need to really invest in equipment?
No, not realistically. You can if you want. If you want that higher end content and the fast video editing, you can still do that on mobile. A lot of people will tell you, "Oh, you need Adobe Premiere Pro and a Best Buy camera that's mirrorless." No, of course, like what I have, but you do, you don't. You can literally use the back of your iPhone. The back of your camera is your favorite camera. Like, yes, we all want to see ourselves recording, but the quality is so much better on the other side. So much better. It's actually going to get you more views because you're using the back of your camera. The lighting looks better. It's not as grainy when you export it. And CapCut. I live on CapCut. It's free. You can pay for the subscription model of it, but it already has everything you need. Under the free version, it has teleprompting. If you're going to do a voiceover or you want to talk about your new favorite game, Splitgate 2 that's coming out, and you want to make a video about it, you can do that on CapCut. Same with like those fast, heavy hit reels and keyframing. You don't need to spend hundreds of hours on YouTube anymore. Just get on CapCut. It's going to save you so much money. And then even in the brand and collaboration space, there are companies that sell the handheld, rigging devices where you can walk around and it has light, it has stables. So it's not going to make your camera all wobbly. You have the stabilization within the device already. And 9 times out of 10, it's under $20, or the company will just send it to you for free to make one video. And then they'll boost Spark ads on your video. And then you can monetize while also learning how to create content. So it's very revolving door. And then as you grow and as you want to branch out into more extreme technology like Adobe, where it is going to take a lift to learn, then that's when you start investing. But I would never tell anybody, start investing immediately. If you don't have, a Shure SM7B mic, you're not going to make it. That is not the case.
Yeah, when we add those barriers, we're gonna just find excuses not to do it.
Absolutely.
Versus the most important thing is just the consistency, and whatever you have, just do it. And most of the successful influencers, content creators, their original videos have not been great in quality, but because they kept going, they found their niche, they found their voice, they found their community. So
yeah, they learned.
yeah.
Because I remember watching my first video that I ever put up, and I know I have it recorded somewhere, but it was horrible. It did not look good. The audio was off. My camera was in like 420p. It was just not good. And now looking at where I have came with content, it's like it's completely the grass is greener on the other side once you learn it. It's just
And
gonna take
nobody will remember your original. So like, just don't
time.
worry about it. Nobody cares. Just keep going. So I appreciate that. That was really good advice. And totally agree with CapCut. I tried so many different tools, all these new AI things. They're not there yet. They're not there, and they're gonna waste more of your time. Just do CapCut. Pro is not that expensive. We're not sponsored by them, but they're very helpful because they have been built by Tencent, the company behind TikTok, and so like it's been optimized for content creation. Awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Thank
and it's not just for TikTok either. You can also
No,
use
yeah,
those videos everywhere. For people who
exactly.
think it is just for TikTok, it is not.
No, it's not. Awesome, awesome. And I want to thank our amazing engaged community, Warren, Casey, Alvaro, Chris, Gabriel, whoever is tuning in, we appreciate you. Feel free to engage with us in the comment section. We see you there. All right, so let's, if you have questions, put it in the chat. We would love to answer. But let's get into kind of like monetization aspect, which I think is a huge question. A lot of times, we have a full-time job, or as an entrepreneur or consultant, there are other avenues that we're tapping into monetization. And, monetization from content creation seems like too out of reach. So from your perspective, having been full-time on this, what are the different revenue streams that people can focus on? Should they just focus on the ad revenue from like YouTube, or should they start looking into partnerships, sponsorships? Like, what are the weight of each of these, and what are your suggestions?
Yeah, so there are millions of ways to monetize on social media. I feel like, narrowing it down is going to be really hard because one, I don't think a lot of people realize you can monetize off Pinterest. So it's like you can take just random things you love, post those on Pinterest, schedule them to post on Pinterest. Every save equals money. Every share equals money. And a lot of people don't understand. It's just the simple things. Maybe you don't want your face to be in any content. That's fine. Make your content all about not having your face in the content and sharing it on a multitude of platforms. So you can monetize on Facebook, on the back end of Business Suite through bonuses, which can be subscription bonuses. You get one subscription, they'll give you two for free. Or it could be engagement challenges. A lot of people on Facebook, you'll see just random videos of text over an image and music playing in the background. Why are users doing that? They're monetized. You don't have to do anything. You just upload. And since there's a bonus in place, you can make money off that video. With TikTok, TikTok has so many ways to monetize. I feel like everyone on that platform is overwhelmed. Um, so there's the just regular, once you hit 10,000, you unlock TikTok shop, which their monetization left, right, top, bottom, you can access it all. And then you have voiceovers, brand collabs, two different ways to do that through Meta, through TikTok, sorry, not Meta. And you can do that through the TCC program. Or if you have over, I think it's 100,000 followers, you get unlocked access to campaign deals where companies and contracts will reach out to you and pitch you creative briefs and give you a scope of that proposal and, tell you their budget and their marketing budget and how much in perpetuity that they want to, purchase your content for. Maybe that's a duration of 30 days, 60 days, or a year. And then you work on those prices with them. Now, not everybody's going to know how to do that, but thankfully, that's where ChatGPT comes into play for any and all of your amazing questions. YouTube ad revenue, of course, and then you have the streaming platforms like Twitch, SharePlay, Kick, Facebook, etc., which you're able to monetize as well for subscriptions, bits, and even engaging interactive content. So alerts, animations, etc. Users can pay and boost those right in the chat for you. And then you just execute on whatever that may be. For me, it's $10. I'll eat a cricket. It's just a dehydrated cricket. I just do it in my chat. One, it makes me suffer, but they love it. And, it's just finding those different revenue streams, and they are everywhere, like literally everywhere. Even Amazon influencer, you have everything around your house to advertise. Everything from your mouse, which everyone owns one of these. If you have a computer, Amazon sells them. Make a video, take a picture, post it. Someone clicks on it and purchases through that, you make commission. It's very simple. It's just very overwhelming because there's so many different ways, and it's hard to nail down, where do I start? What do I do? And how do I do it? That's where my company HLX comes into play to help people narrow that down.
Cool. So yeah, I think that's the biggest question. I personally have been looking into different ways just so we understand, what's worth our energy and time to invest, because there are so many options, which is great. But how do we know which one is the right one for us? For example, I was looking at this Amazon influencer program. The percentages are quite low of what you actually get. So it's all about volume. You have to have a lot of volume, or you could be focused on those niches that give you the higher percentages. So curious, how do you advise people to go about? And if you want to talk about your company, I would love to know more. But, just kind of like how people should evaluate which options to focus on.
Yeah. So when I was first starting out, I would take anything, even if it was a 3% commission rate. And that was me dipping my toe in. So I do think it is smart for if you're just starting out and maybe you're learning how to edit, it was worth taking those 3% deals just to get my foot in, understand the process before I went and executed on a $10,000 contract. Because that would not have been doable right out the gate. But yeah, so to figure out what you want to do, because every content style is different. If it's lifestyle, you probably want to lean more into where you can sell, right? Instagram is huge on lifestyle content where just selling clothing and women-based products are a huge hit on Instagram. Amazon is a huge one, but Amazon is secondary nature for me personally. If I'm going to upload a video on TikTok, knowing that TikTok sells and there's retention there, I will still take that content that's already evergreen. It's already made. It just needs to be posted elsewhere. I will just post that on Instagram knowing that it's going to only make 3 to maybe 10%. And then if it takes off, it takes off. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I personally am not too involved in Amazon influencer only because the margins are so low
It's
and
so
it's not
low.
really worth my time. So it's just kind of second nature. I already have the content, upload it there. I'll even upload it on Pinterest as well. And uh, Snapchat stories. So Snapchat stories and spotlights, as long as you have to be very careful with spotlights because if it's too brand specific, they will flag it and it won't get posted. So you just have to be very creative in your posting style.
Interesting. Wow. So many options.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of options. Yeah. And some platforms have, everything broken down for you. Like with brands, if you're looking for brand specific content or collaborations, there's places like Creatorland, and Discord servers. Killer.io gives you a multitude of high level brand contacts from Microsoft, Sony, Razer, etc. So, and you can just go on there and click one button and it unlocks the contact.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. We actually had a guest previously talking about TikTok Shop, and I heard that the percentages that they pay to influencers on TikTok Shop is actually a lot higher. So yeah, I mean, it's about like choosing your niche and then tapping into possibilities of that niche. That's very helpful. And can we talk about innovative models of monetization? Kind of like beyond these options, what other innovative, creative ways you have tapped into monetization?
Are we talking about for streaming wise
In
or
general, yeah, like what do you think you personally have found working most, and if there are any new ways or creative ways that you found helpful?
yeah. So I do a lot of brand collaborations. I also do a lot of different interactive challenges on my broadcast when I'm streaming, and I do completely paid streams. So I'll have companies reach out to play video games, and I will completely brand that entire broadcast to
Mm,
that company, whether that's overlays, 3D animations, etc. Those will all live right on the broadcast. Creating different like businesses for the long term, there is there's a lot there's a lot there's a lot of different ways to do that. And it's hard to really nail that down. I mean, I've started clothing lines that have created different revenue model structures that have nothing to do with my name, and scaled those where now I'm trying to get those into stores. And there's this hard to really nail that down, to be honest. It's very hard to
no, I
get
understand. So let's
one.
talk about your clothing line. Was that around the brand that you created, or was it for specific your community? How did you go about that? Because we talk
Yeah.
about fashion a lot, so I would love to know more.
Yeah, so my merchandise it's a little different than a lot of other content creators.
Do you want
When
to share your screen? So let me,
Sure.
yeah, let's show that. Okay,
Yeah, so my
beautiful.
my merchandise is a little bit different than other content creators. A lot of people in the content creation space, they will just take their gamer tag and a very specific GFX and they will just throw it on a t-shirt. I wanted to be different and I'm a very aggressive gamer. I'm very loud in the game and I rage a lot and I'll throw my chair. So I wanted to create a clothing line that was aggressive, streetwear, people could relate to it, and it had a lot of moving parts and very, very detailed. I feel like detailed artwork has deplenished in the space. No one's really doing it anymore. It's very clip art feel. It's all very boring. And and so I wanted to put a little bit of something different on it. So every couple months I come out with a new line from, you know, creating spring designs, and these are heavily detailed. I love that. I love it about my content. You can relate to it whether you're a male or a female, it kind of works both ways. It's like evergreen, as I say. You know, you can either wear it on a hoodie, a t-shirt, or a crop top, and it's all going to work the same for no matter what you are. So it's great. I love it. It's beautiful. It's aggressive, but
Did
it
you
gets
design them yourself? Who did the art?
I have an amazing artist. Um she's overseas, and it's just this one's very aggressive. And she's overseas. She's just amazing. These are all hand drawn on a tablet, and they're so detailed. It takes 30 days to execute a design, and I write my own creative brief and I submit it to the designer, and then she starts to get work on it. And it's amazing. I love my designs. I
Wow,
hope someday they get in stores. I really do.
that's amazing.
That is my goal.
So these are T-shirts that you are probably promoting. It's on e-commerce store that you promote as you're streaming. Is that right?
Yeah, so I have the storefront on my platform, on my website, and then I advertise it through fan marketing. So people who have purchased my products, whether that be tumblers or,
Oh wow.
t-shirts, they even take little pictures of themselves doing different things because we try to run campaigns on my channel. So I'm like, hey, we have a Halloween campaign coming up. If you've purchased the Skull Brood Fury, please send me all your pictures. We'll be using it in campaigns coming up. And then they just send me all their images, and it's really great seeing everybody wear and love my designs that I literally put so much brain power into, because no one else has these. And this is one of my biggest designs that I sell, the Skull Brood Fury.
Wow.
That is my top seller. And it's just great. I really enjoy
Wow.
seeing everybody just consumed in all the different avenues of my merchandise. So
Well, we're gonna get into the topic of community in a bit, but I think this not only is a monetization method, but also brings the community closer to each other, because now you have an identification method that people can carry, and others ask them, "What is this?" And then they're gonna tell them a story about you. So that's just
yes.
like such a good way to continue building the community and get the word out, but making it very special, not just slapping a logo on a t-shirt,
Yes.
which we often see even big brands do it.
Yes.
And
Which it's fine if it's a Nike check mark, like that. Some people love the minimalistic look, and I love that for them. but not
but
I
it gets
can't. It's just
boring. Like
so boring.
how many people have the same thing? What's
Yeah.
special about this is that it's just unique. There's a story behind it. There's art behind it, and it all goes back with your personal brand and story that you have as you
Yes.
played games and create the content. So that's really
Absolutely.
powerful.
And in every single design, there are Easter eggs in every single design as well. So it's like hidden information within the design that you
Oh,
cannot see on the mock-up unless you purchase the design. So
wow.
like for example, I have a suffocation t-shirt which is based around me being suffocated in my own content. So every single suction cup on the octopus that is pulling my character into the water is a social media icon on every single tentacle. And it goes that deep into the design. And if you're a content creator and you purchase a shirt and you look at it and you're like, is that a Facebook logo? It's like, you kind of are like, yeah, I feel that. Like I get it. So,
Wow, that's a really good point. And looking at like Taylor Swift, she does a similar thing, with the Easter eggs. Like that's how you kind of get the story going, get the word of mouth going. and the mystery and all of that is just gonna make things more attractive. So really powerful. Let's talk about a couple of questions and comments from the audience before we go to the next topic. Warren is asking, what are your thoughts about content creators, influencers, and the way they innovate beyond the social channels that we currently using today as we start absorbing content product in different ways?
Yeah, as in like AR, VR, augmented reality. Uh,
Probably because his next comment is actually love to
yeah,
see your products in AR, so maybe it's along those
that's
lines. Yeah.
that's what I assumed. Now, I personally love AR, VR. I think it's moving. People aren't doing it yet because they don't understand it. And when people like I had a company reach out to me and jump in a meeting to talk specifically about AR and VR. And if I didn't understand a little bit of it, that meeting to me would have been useless because it's just so much information that I've never been exposed to. Me personally, though, give me a VR, AR space and I could put products up on the walls. We can make a whole experience like a nightclub within a space, my broadcast up. I'd be selling merch in the corner. Like that to me, I would love that. And there are companies doing that. And I think the more that it's advertised, the more that people see that one, it moves the needle for specific content creators in the space and what they're doing, how they're utilizing it, more people will start to follow once they understand the space. 100%. I would personally love to have an entire, game room where my community can either put on a face mask and go in and watch the football game every Monday or Sunday night and, also, have my merch on the walls, have some of my experiences that I've done. You walk up to a wall and it opens up like a high level reel of things I've done in the past year, like showcasing information about myself in a different light that maybe content creators just they're not doing. Like I'm not posting every single day about things I've done in the past year, but that is something that I would do if I had a augmented reality where I could tap into it and build my own home within the virtual realm. It would get more users to break open a little bit and be like, "Okay, what is that? I'll give that a try." And then all of a sudden that immersive technology is like, "I want to go back in. I want to do that. What did they add? Did they change anything?" And then it's just going to start catching on.
Yes, these are just different tools and mediums for storytelling and making it more interactive. So they are also part of this story. So that's really powerful. Thank you for the question, Warren. And another quick question from Gabriel. What are the key factors for building sustainable content creation business in the long term? How can creators ensure consistent revenue and growth?
Yeah, so if you're talking about just specifically social media, you can't really show that you're going to have consistent revenue. It's not a consistent market. Some months it can be $15,000 on social media and you feel like you're on top of the world. That next month you're just, okay, I'll do the exact same thing and I'll have the same outcome. That is not the case. That is not the case, unfortunately, at all. It feels like a never-ending grind
Yeah.
of constantly keeping up, constantly posting, constant pivoting. What is next? What's trending? What do I need to change and mold my content to be slightly where it's not like hurting the algorithm or messing up anything on my like content that I'd be doing at that point in time, but then also feeding in brand collaborations that also align with the content. Because then if you don't do it in a very specific way, it can break your algorithm and then you get knocked into that 2,000 view rate. But there are many different ways, like constant using of your brand collaboration videos. Once you post it once, post it again. You can constantly make monetization off from that. I do know there's different avenues of uploading on multiple platforms that are always going to be evergreen. If hypothetically, let's say, okay, we'll take this pen for example. So I'm selling this pen. I sell this pen last month. Now, there's a sale on this pen. and it's going to happen every single month, but the sale is going to be different. Every single month, I need to know that in my content, if I made $6,000 last month by selling this pen, when that pen goes on sale, you need to make another video. So you can constant have that revenue, even if it's just a sale. It doesn't matter. Make the video. So you can make more money hoping you can get to 6,000 again the next month. That's what it's always. I wish it was constant revenue all the time. That would be so nice. I think the only other thing that you could do for like consistent, constant revenue is creating solutions and services that the audience needs forever. Whether that's how do I stream on PlayStation 5? How do I stream, or this is just me specifically, but like, how do I stream on PlayStation? How do I stream on Xbox? There was an update on OBS. It broke my audio. What do I do? You know, like creating evergreen content that one you can monetize on. People always need it. It always needs to be updated. And then just putting it into fruition and doing that every single month to guarantee monetization. That is probably the best route if you're a content creator and streamer.
So many good advice in this. Yeah, I think the how-to videos, because YouTube is kind of the second biggest game and search engine. And so with that, people go and say how to do this. And so creating those type of content is really powerful. And the other thing that you mentioned about reposting your kind of branded content, that's very important. Like, because, for example, with affiliate links of Amazon, you can only receive the affiliates if they purchase within 24 hours of tapping on your link. So if they add it to the bag, but they never purchase it within the 24 hours, you don't get it. So reminding them to go back to their bag and purchase this and all that, but using your fresh link can really help. So all these nitty gritties are important, and as you go, you realize more of it. And I think diversifying is basically what you're recommending. But all the options, we're not trying to overwhelm you guys by these options. It's just, if you diversify, then when this volatility happens, then you are not in trouble. You have different options to tap into. One goes up, the other goes down. You know, you kind of balance each other. So that's kind of what you need to focus on.
And multiple accounts too. So like if you have a TikTok channel and you're specifically gaming, you probably are not going to want to post like, you know, I'm going to go and get my eyelashes done and my hair on a gaming content page. You know, like knowing that that's probably not going to get any views, that's when you would create like an IRL based page and get all of those monetized at the exact same time. Have one platform pushing you, the other platform working on collaborations, brand deals, and pushing those affiliate links, and one, all your content deliverables, because there's going to be a lot and you're going to find out really fast that your content page is going to get bogged down and you're going to have to pick and choose which brand deals you work with. So having multiple TikTok accounts, multiple YouTube pages, Facebooks, Instagrams. And then I do know some creators, they have that one extra account that is the troll account. That troll account, which a lot of content creators won't tell you, but I'm very transparent. A lot of people have a troll account where if they have a video that starts to pop off, that troll account goes in and starts arguments to boost the engagement, to boost the money. And it's just constant pushing it out, because even if people are fighting about, oh, were you cheating on that sniper shot on Call of Duty? You're still making money when they come back to argue about, are you a hacker or not? And that's the big old Nadia example. She had bots go in there to be mean and aggressive, and then look at where she is now, successful. Same thing. Companies are even doing it.
Well, I love that you touched on the comment section. I realized this engagement in the comment is so important and powerful. We're going to talk about community, and I think it's kind of tied to that. The chat or comment section is where a lot of things are happening, because the interaction with the audience is happening. The story kind of continues living its life. So tell us more about how you engage your community, in the chat or comment section and beyond that.
Yeah, so we use different things like emotes and in the comment section on like Facebook, etc. If you sub, you get these all different stickers and there's different ways that you can interact with the chat that way. I reply back to as many as I possibly can. I am very communicative back and forth. I also treat everybody the same on my social media. So whether you are subscribed or not subscribed, everybody gets that communication back and forth. I share people's posts on social media. I just get that one-on-one connection. If someone messages me in a DM and they're just asking like a standard question that they need help on, I'm not going to be like, oh, I have 600,000 followers across all my social media. I just don't need to check my messages anymore. That is not the case. You still need to be checking your messages, still being engaging and knowing that fine line, though, like very well understanding that there is a fine line of what you can say back to somebody before it's taken out of context or when to just not reply. But I do different engagement pools of, hey, let's try and get this post to, 2,000 likes, and then we'll run a giveaway on merch. Or, hey, let's give away this deodorant if we get to 75,000 followers. Different engagement actions to get them to want to share, to want to create the content for me as well, because a lot of people miss out on that specifically on social media. Is yes, you can create the content all day, but once you have a following and you have people who care and engage and you've made that one-on-one connection, a lot of your fans are already creating the content for you. They're creating the memes, they're creating those micro little snippet videos and the GIFs that they put in your Discord. Take those, share them on social media. It makes them feel good. It makes you feel good because then you know that your community cares about you. And it's very much personal. It's very personal. You have to have a personality to do this job. You also, you got to be communicative. You got to talk. And it's a lot of talking.
And a big part of it, I think, especially on Twitch and TikTok and YouTube, all these platforms, is being entertaining.
Yes.
So that's the part that, it's a little bit different from like LinkedIn, where it's more about education and information. But on those other platforms, people are often tired and bored, and they just want something fun to watch, and that entertainment becomes a high priority. So it's your job as the content creator to keep them excited. I want to touch on one of your great experiences, the cooking classes that you have been doing, which is kind of not your typical content. But if you would like to talk about that, I would love to briefly mention that.
Yeah. So cooking with noobs is actually a fun side project that me and my daughter have. My daughter is a teenager. I know, crazy, right? She's a teenager and she has celiac disease. So that is where she's allergic to wheat, rye, barley, pretty much anything that has gluten in it, which is almost all foods in America. So, which is very unfortunate. So what we did was we started creating a Cooking with Noobs channel, and we realized very quickly that a lot of the people in my community specifically did not know how to cook. And I was like, well, how do we fix this? So what I ended up doing was I was like, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to start having Discord calls. I'm going to teach you guys how to make your wife breakfast. It's going to be super simple, but I realized very quickly that people were reaching out to me going, my wife has had a really, really hard week and I really want to make her favorite French toast, but I don't know how to do it. So I would get on Discord with these like groups of people going, this is how you make French toast. And, just as your wife deserves that respect too. It goes both ways. You guys are a team, just like in a video game. You need one each of each other, and you need to be working together. So I figured that that was a big disconnect for a lot of people. So what I wanted to do was start a series where I taught everyone the basics. And then from the basics, you had all that digital content to put back into fruition if you ended up not making it to the first couple of shows. And then we would move into, all right, here is a breakdown of what we're going to cook for the week. And we're going to go live every Friday and we're going to cook this meal. And I'll send it to the clients in vegan, gluten free, dairy free, soy free, like in every different vertical that you possibly can. So everybody has options to be able to cook with different quantities. So whether you have a family of 3 or a family of 7, you
Wow.
have options. And, integrating my family into it too. Like my boyfriend is a chef who was on Netflix, not Netflix, Food Network, and like it's just food is my love language, and I've never been able to fully tap into it because I've been so gaming heavy. But now, since my daughter, she really wants to start her own segment called Yeet the Wheat and talk to kids about dietary restrictions and how to be safe, and creating all that food that she loves eating, but is so expensive, and trying to find ways to make that affordable. So doing
Wow.
cooking with noobs has always been my dream, and I'm remodeling my kitchen soon, and she's going to be coming back. So I'm very excited.
Amazing, amazing. Wow. I think the biggest takeaway of this example is kind of how to be creative and tap into your different skills and passions, and
Mhm.
not be afraid to put your other versions out there too. You will be surprised how it can resonate with others, beyond that, main niche that you had. So that's really powerful, and that strengthens the community a lot more.
Yes.
Everybody needs to eat, so why
Yeah.
not eating healthier? Awesome. We have about 8 minutes. I want to kind of skip some of the topics and get into your current businesses. Beyond all this amazing work you're doing, you're an entrepreneur, a very powerful business leader. So tell us about these tools that you're building, and kind of like what's next.
Yeah, absolutely. So I currently co-own a company called HLX.gg. It's high level experiences. We do a multitude of amazing things for creators in the space, and not just creators, athletes as well. So we are a monetization hub for athletes, content creators, gaming influencers, etc., across the entire spectrum. Athletes are able to come onto our platform, whether they're in a college in NIL or if they're in the NFL, MLB, or NBA. We help them kind of figure out, one, are you monetizing on social media? Because realistically, a lot of them don't even know that they're not,
Yeah.
which is insane to me how someone can have 600,000 followers or even over 1 million and they're not monetized. It's very scary, but we bridge that gap. So getting them to come on, host video game tournaments. Users are able to opt into SMS as well. So if you're going live on Twitch or YouTube, instead of relying on those Twitch notifications, you can now just send out a direct SMS to those users. Uh, Competing in tournaments online or hosting your own tournaments. So we have put together an amazing bracketing system that's completely proprietary to the platform. And, it does everything we need from BR, single elimination, double elimination, round robin. And companies are using this like Nukes and Ranked Fan Cards. They're competing in tournaments and hosting events for athletes in the collegiate space and in just the everyday gaming space to bridge their audience even further. Because a lot of the audience that are clientele that are company wise are looking to do is reach Gen Z. So,
Mhm.
and they're not sure how to do that because their marketing strategies are not very good. And everything that they're putting out on social media is also, it's lacking with the current trends that are going on. So a lot of them are realizing extremely fast that esports is the uprise and it's changing every single month. So they're finally tapping into it, which is great. So we have clients come on We offer them an entire website. We build it all for them that gets to highlight their call to action information, their sponsors, their NIL deals, all their information from SMS, email marketing, and we also host live events. So one thing that's really cool is we get to host symposiums. So this is my company has so much that we do, it's hard to say what we do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I feel like that makes sense, at least to me. So we host live productions for students. This was in Ottawa, Canada, and they had over 400 students that are all homeschooled and experience a symposium learning about esports, technology, and different ways that they can, grow up and spread into the space. What do they want to do? They don't know. So what we do is we help them show all the different options of what they can do within the space and then just set them on their way and see what they do with it. And it's honestly great. So this is the founder of my company. Every single year, we host an HLXU event with On3, which is the top 50 D1 athletes in America. It's a great event. And we have athletes from around America fly in. They get to learn about social media monetization, how to speak in front of a camera. When you're being interviewed, what do you do? How do you act? What are you like the entire background premise of you are important and a lot of cameras are about to be on you because of your NIL value and your worth. Now, I don't know anything about sports, so it's very easy for me to, come in and speak with these athletes that one, they're all content creators because any content is creation and
Yes.
they love video games. And it's an untouched market. No one's doing it. So we decided to do it. So
Wow.
it's amazing. We have all these athletes come out. They compete in a head-to-head MUT tournament for Madden. This one was Madden 24. So we own the licensing for it. And I don't know if this is going to have audio, but I'm going to mute there. Okay. So we do these events. This is Campus Clash. And this was with Patrick Willis from the 49ers with the Hall of Fame and Marshall Henderson. So what we do is we go to different campuses and activations and we create entire community segments of what we want to showcase, whether that's the most popular restaurant in the area, and then segue it into a video game tournament where, everybody just collectively gets to have fun and it's a blast. I love my job. I'm stage floor manager and I run and execute all the events with my amazing team. Josh, he's so smart. He went to Full Sail and it's great working with all these people that I personally never would have imagined working with in the space. And, even for example, like here's Patrick Willis. He usually has his camera up in the top left-hand side corner, but a lot of these athletes, whether they are NFL or if they're just in the collegiate space, they want to create content and stream, but there is no one right now giving them the opportunity on what is the software? How do I use it? What do I do? Like, what happens if my agent calls me while I'm live? They don't know how to mute, by the way. So
Oh my
it's like
God.
all very new
Wow.
and it's exciting. So yeah, I get to set up NFL athletes with, streaming assistants and everything else. So I
Wow.
really love it.
Really powerful. Yeah, I mean, with Olympics just passed recently, we saw with the physical sports how many of these athletes are not being monetizing their platforms. They're complaining that
Yeah.
they are not getting paid fairly, they can't pay their rents and stuff like that. And then you look at their socials, they're just like posting without purpose and without
Yeah.
call to action, and they are
Yes.
not consistent. They're just like losing the opportunity. So this is really powerful that you guys created something that handhold them into this process, which is not easy. Not everybody is going to go watch YouTube videos to learn everything. And
Yes, they're not.
especially physical with the community. You're not alone. We're all in this together. So this is really powerful. Awesome. I would love to know more about what's next for you as we're approaching the end of this session. This was amazing. I have so many other questions. Maybe we can have you on another episode. But I would love to know kind of what's next, how people can support you, and where can we find those beautiful merches?
Yes. So I have some tournaments coming up. So next is going to be the HLX Share Play tournament is coming up, which I'm super excited about. It is going to be Apex Legends, which is going to be on shareplay.tv. And they are doing a league. It's going to be a $1,000 tournament starting, but it's going to be a $10,000 league called the Pro Bowl. So $10,000 is up for grabs, which is pretty exciting. And then after that, in November, we have a Players Era event that we're putting on in Las Vegas. So I will be in Las Vegas for an entire week in November, and I will be hosting the entire fan zone where the NBA players are going to be playing against fans in a tournament, kind of like what I showed you guys for that video for On3. So I'm super excited about that. And then of course, just work. We just working like crazy. You guys can find my merch and all the information about me right on my website, hlx.gg/pink. You can see my streaming, my SMS notifications, all of my one-on-one services, whether that's a company trying to reach out for UX UI help, and of course, my merchandise. So
wow, amazing. And your social handles?
yes, all my social handles are right at the bottom. And yeah,
Awesome.
I love it.
Thank you so much, Brooke. This was
Yes.
beyond amazing. I learned so much. I'm sure our amazing community learned so much. You're wonderful. I can't wait to see what's next with all your accomplishments. This is just the beginning. And you're such an inspiring woman in business. So always great to talk to great leaders like you. Thank you to our amazing audience for tuning in. We do this every Tuesday, 9 a.m. PST. Come back next week. We continue talking about emerging tech and immersive experiences. Have a beautiful rest of your day, everyone. Bye.